Today I'm going to demonstrate how to make one of these cancer awareness ribbons. They're also used for other diseases and conditions like Parkinson's and schizophrenia. In any event, I designed this when the husband of a friend of mine from high school was battling sarcoma, and she had wanted me to make some little crocheted ribbons that could be pinned and used as decorations. And in looking over the available options, everything I found took a lot of time to make, and I was the only one making them, and I needed to get them done in a very quick time frame. So I ended up designing this crocheted ribbon, and it really doesn't take much time at all. So what do you need to make it? You need a 3.75 millimeter hook, and the reason I use a hook that small is that the ribbon itself is about 3 inches by 2.5 inches at its widest point, and that's the size hook I use to get a ribbon in that range. And you need some worsted weight yarn and scissors. So you start the way all crochet projects start, with a slip stitch. I'm going to set all this stuff to the side here, and you begin by chaining 24, making 24 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're a quarter of the way there, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, halfway to our foundation, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, I just have to stop and say 3/4, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And so now we have our foundation chain, and it's 24 chains long. And it has a front, which looks like chains, and a back, which has these bumps. I call them the back ridge loop. And we're going to start by working 8 double crochets. So we're going to do a yarn over, and then we're going to insert the hook under that bump and bring it forward, and we're going to do that 8 times. So there's 1, and oh, note to self, put it in the second chain from the hook. So that's our first one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've finished with the first leg of the ribbon, and now we're going to make the curved part. So we'll be working 2 half double crochets into each of the next 7 chains. So we're going to continue to work through that back ridge stitch for the next 14 stitches. So 1, 2, and you'll see it gets kind of curly and hard to video. And then into the next stitch, we're going to work our 3rd and 4th half double crochets. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, whoops, 12, we are so close, 13, 14, and we should have 7 chains left. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yes. And now we're going to do a yarn over, and after completing that curved portion, we are now going to work just 1 half double crochet into the next chain. Then we'll chain 2. And we're going to skip 2 chains. So we're going to skip these 2 bumps. And we're going to work the last 5 half double crochets. This one is a little awkward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to trim the end. I always leave a generous end. We're going to fasten off that stitch. And now I am going to show you how I like to do it. I prefer going over. We have this space here, and I prefer going over and then under. And then you adjust it so that your edges are fairly even. And then what I do is I use the tails to secure. When I weave it in, I use it to secure that center part of the ribbon. So I go carefully through these back stitches. When you weave in ends, you never want to pull really tightly. You want to pull securely, but not tightly, because that can, see like how that bunched up there? So I'm going to have to like unbunch that a bit. It's a little too vigorous in my pulling. And I'm going to make sure that I have it the way I want it. And I do. So now I'm going to use the yarn. I'm going to go under these 2 stitches here, 2 loops from that stitch, and then I'm going to go under here. And again, you want to pull firmly but gently. And then I'm going to go under here and then under these 2 loops. And again, pull firmly but gently. And now the piece is a little more secure. And I'll continue to weave this in on the back. I probably am a little overzealous when it comes to weaving in ends, but you know, by the time I've done all that work, what's a few more seconds of weaving in the end so that it doesn't fall apart? Whoops, pulled that too tight there. So now I'm going to take this second end and again I'm going to start my weaving in of the ends along the back of the piece, being careful not to grab yarn so that it shows through on the front. But here I am. Now I am going to go to the front a little bit because I want to secure this area right here. There. And I'll go through that stitch. And so now all that's left to do is trim the ends. 1, 2. And voila, you have your awareness ribbon to use however you see fit.